Alrighty, guys, what's going on today? Hopefully, you guys had a great trading day out there. Hopefully, you've been trading well. Appreciate you guys for subscribing to the NorMagnoTrading.com community. Click the icon to alert you for making new videos. I'd really appreciate that, guys. Without further ado, let me go ahead and get started. Today is a red day, but overall, I don't really feel like it's a red day because I really like where I'm sitting with my overnight, and I'll go ahead and explain that here in a second. What just happened? So I gotta go edit video here. So just give me a moment here to set everything up. Change. Alright. Hopefully you guys had a great trading day out there. Hopefully you guys have been trading well. Subscribe to the NorMagnoTrading.com community. I really appreciate that, guys. 42K, perfect, done. Done there. Alright, day 561 minus 42K, 419, cool. Alrighty, guys, so if you give me a moment here, about 20 more seconds, I'll be ready to set everything up. Hopefully you guys traded well out there. Subscribe to the channel. Click the icon for make new videos. I'd really appreciate it, guys. I am live going over today's trading day, down 42K, but like my overnight. Copy that. Okay, cool. There's that. Team ideas. Boom, done. Okay. Cool, there's that. There's this. There's that. Alright, guys. I'm just going to post this really quick. Hopefully you guys subscribe to the channel. Click the icon for making new videos. Hopefully you guys have been studying hard. You got to put in the time. No one can do that for you. Alright, there's that. Boom, boom, done. Alright, I'm live. Today's big runners were DWAC, we had NFLX, we had MULN, IO, and what's another one we had? CRXT. We can do SEV. Alright, there's that. Cool. Alright, posted that there. Now let's go here. Alrighty, guys, we're live here at NorMagnoTrading.com community. Hopefully you guys have already subscribed to the channel. Click the icon to alert you for making new videos. I'd really appreciate that, guys. Help the channel out a ton. I want to go ahead and go over today's trading day. Basically, Netflix. Netflix just absolutely annihilated me. And I'll be the first one to admit it. Netflix, traded it down $74,000 on the day. I entered it at 235, which, to be honest, I felt pretty good about, looking at that little entry there. It was down 30+% in the day. It was really starting to just get slammed down. If you look at this is a company worth over $100 billion, right? It's just gotten absolutely annihilated down, in the last, let's say, 3 or 4 or 5 months. It's down 60%, all these things, and I was just sitting there, and I really wanted to see this thing flush, and it did. It listened to my command, and so it flushed down to 235. I had 235, 99 average, so right where that white line is. And it just continued to dump. Luckily, I stopped out, right here, but by then it was too late. Down $74,000. And I never once today would have broken even. Not once. After I was, basically 228 was the high. So, there wasn't a whole lot of, missed out opportunity there. Obviously, I was really looking down here for the inherited IRA position, but this thing just kept tanking, kept dumping. I don't know if I've ever seen something like that before. But it cost me right off the bat, $74,000 on Netflix to start the day. And then CRXT, again, same thing, try to catch the backside. There was a bounce, and my average was 284, ended up stopping out right there. Perked back up, then came all the way back down under 230. And then it re-perked to 274, so I had an opportunity to kind of maybe, lose less, I guess, per se. 26 grand of a loss there. And then MDVL, this one was, I really thought this was going to be it today. I started taking a big chunk on it down in here. Then I saw CRXT go out. I'm like, all right, this one definitely is going to go based upon, just being a biopharmaceutical and the way that this one's been reacting lately. I started scaling some of the front side up in here, took a little bit, and then I just got dumped on the back side. I took off half on the front, added a little bit more, didn't take anything off. The reality was I wanted over 320. Of course, we tapped 319. We didn't get 320. That seems to be my day. And then I got stopped out way down here the last half. I got caught up in whatever the hell this was. Somebody just got dumped on right there, and that was including me. I got dumped on, sold the rest of my shares down in here, and that was it. I'm still holding this position in my inherited IRA. I really like the way this chart is setting up. I'm not going to get chopped out of it. But I at least made 50K on that name. And then IO is something that I want to talk about. So this is my overnight that I'm taking. I usually don't talk too much about my overnights. I'm actually, overnight MDVL and IO. But IO, I'm overnight both inherited and my day trading account. I usually don't, overnight in my day trading account, but this has too many things going for it. I explained it once. I'll explain it again. First of all, oil's been hot. This is an oil name. Second of all, I believe they did a partnership with Shell. If you go back and look, where was it? The news. 5-year deal with Brunel Shell Petroleum. Contract with Brunel. So is it not Shell? I don't know. Can anybody clarify on that? Brunel and Shell. It says government of Brunei and Shell. Is this Shell? If so, we can go back and look at what happened at VTNR when this happened. When there was news with Shell. It gapped up to like kind of what it did today, IO. Then it had another gap, and it ran all the way to 14 like a month later. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but first of all, when I saw Shell and this being an oil name on IO, I immediately thought of VTNR. Number 2, oil's been hot lately. Number 3, this is a bottom bounce that's been absolutely annihilated on. And you can see here, nice gap with a ton of volume. Number 4, you can see what happened the last time it gapped like this. It gapped up and ran massively. Okay, so it's a spikeable stock. Number 5, it's wedging, so you can see lower highs and higher lows. It's not the cleanest of wedge. After hours, it kind of broke down a little. But, all these things. And number 6, whenever there's a stock that's up gapping and it holds intraday anywhere from 60 to 90% intraday, I usually look at this stock for a gap up. So all those things, I said it's worth it. Now, it could easily close down to 40. Maybe it has an offering. I have no idea, guys. There's no predicting these things. All I can do is try and do the best as I can with what's worked for me in the past. And I'm not a financial advisor. Trade at your own risk. I have a plan, a process, and a strategy no matter what. I'm not the best at looking up DD. I might be wrong in all the Shell and Brunei stuff. I have no idea. I'm just using everything that's worked for me in the past, and that's it. I've proven to you guys that I can lose, and I've proven to you guys that I can win. I'm on both sides of every trade, no matter what happens, okay? So don't just think like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about, whatever. You have to trade your plan, your process, and your strategy. That's what I'm thinking in my head. And number 7, if this is number 7 or whatever, another reason, whenever I see a stock go down like this and recoup that quickly, about 70% of a move, so 50 cents all the way back up to 75 cents. So that's a 50+% move right there within an hour. That's a lot of bullish strength there. It's like, oh, let's sell it off. No, thank you. Look at the bulls just rip this one right back. And then we consolidate inside that, so we closed up 91%. So we consolidated in that 80 to 90% range. I really like that oil is hot, too. If you go back and look at GTE, look at the run. We can go back and look at all these oil names, and we can say, look at the run, okay? GTE is one of my favorites. OXY, let's look at USO, obviously. What else? There's other names out there. But, so that's why I like IO. It has a lot of things going for it. Doesn't mean it's going to run. That's why I'm in it. And also, like, another really solid reason why is it's a bottom bouncer. This thing has been absolutely annihilated on. You can see here, it moved down here all the way to 35 cents, right? And the news there, and also let's see here. So for Chapter 11 readers, it's 6 years lender. So a lot of times when there's Chapter 11, there's also what's called Chapter 11 running. I don't know if this has filed Chapter 11. I know nothing about it. But whenever I see a move like that and all these things going for it, I'm going to take a chance on it. And that's it, So might be wrong, but we'll see. That's me overnight on IO. Watching MULN overnight as well. This is one that's been showing us strength as well. And, definitely checking that one out. And that's basically it today, guys. So a big mistake on Netflix basically just cost me about $74,000. I was too early on pulling the trigger. There was a massive bounce on it if you look here. If I get this down in the 215s, the 216s, we get it to 226, I'm up $50K to start the day, right? Well, at the end of the day, that's the way it goes. I'm not going to be perfect. I'm doing the best with what I can do. I'm always trying to better myself. And, at the end of the day, I messed that trade up. And luckily, not luckily, I stopped out. I told myself to stop out at 230. I didn't stop it out. I told myself to stop out at 225. And finally, I just gave up. I just gave up on the damn thing. Let's see here. So that's the way it goes, guys. Netflix cost me today. There was opportunities where I was actually green multiple times today on IO and on MDVL. But I didn't quite get my price targets that I was aiming for. And that's the way it goes. So, yeah. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you guys for subscribing to NorMacNoTrading.com community. If you haven't already, subscribe to click the icon if I make new videos. And that's about it today, guys. So I use cool hand draw. I use margin, or I use leverage. I don't recommend it to anyone, and I don't really even like to say it. But sometimes, if the position feels right, I'll do that. It's pretty rare that I'll do that like that much, but we'll see. So it takes experience. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys for subscribing to the NorMacNoTrading.com community. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.